My name's Christy Taylor. I'm an architect and partner at CHIOCO Design. I think as a designer coming up in architecture school, I got really into Paulistano brutalism, which is a very specific kind of design that doesn't really play well in Austin, Texas, but I became sort of obsessed with Paulo Mendes de Rocha and Lina Bobardi, and had an opportunity to study for a little while in Brazil and lived down there in Salvador de Bahia. And that was really fun, but my research during my time at UT was focused on self-built housing, informal housing, and how that was executed across the world. And so I was able to look at and really study the way people build housing for themselves and the way they build their own environments. And that became really fascinating, and I was able to look at how they do that in India and the favelas in Brazil, and how architecture has engaged or disengaged with informal housing over decades. I am a big fan of my boss and business partner, Jamie CHIOCO. He just is this perfect embodiment of talent and ability and kindness and generosity with the way that he leads his firm. He has still to this day never said no to me. I get yeses. We shape the firm together. Sometimes I get okays, but most of the time they're emphatic yeses. And so that's someone I always try to aspire to be like. I love some of the organizations that are happening in AIA Austin right now. There is Women in Architecture, which is led by just an incredible group of people that are shining a light on others. It's such a fantastic effort. It's so worthwhile and it's so necessary. There's Latinas in Architecture. There is now the new LGBTQIA+ Alliance. Anything where people are finding a foothold in their profession through another part of their identity, something else that they're identified as. It's really exceptional because it empowers you. It's something that you can bring with you into your professional life. It's not separate from, it's the same. And it emboldens other people. And so I'm so proud and excited about the work that WIA, the Alliance, all of these committees are doing, because it's changing lives. I've been lucky to have a lot of really fantastic environments that I've worked in, and bosses and leaders, examples of leadership over the years. So I think they've all been really crucial. Honestly, one of my favorite sources of inspiration is my husband. He kind of started this fabrication company many, many years ago, coming up on 10 years now, from nothing. And the first thing he did was acknowledge that he wasn't everything, that he needed partners, that he needed help. And him and his partner are this perfect example of sort of two sides of the same coin. They cover each other's weaknesses and they allow each other to celebrate their strengths and what they really love about the business. I am always searching for that. I don't want to be the end all. I don't want to be great at everything, and I don't expect that from other people either. And so I think if you've found someone that really complements you in terms of business, then you're ahead of the game. That means you're going to be able to lean in and enjoy the parts of what you do. Don't let anyone tell you how to architect. There is no right way to do this. And whatever notions you have in your mind about what that looks like, it's probably a very small sliver of what you can be as a professional in this industry. I think everything you're doing right now has value. Every day that you're putting in is shaping who you are. And if you ever get back into architecture, if architecture is lucky enough to have you back, then those experiences will shape who you are as a professional. It's going to be the things that you did when you weren't architecting that make you a really powerful architect. And I think in some ways, if people can really take that and understand that it is not a linear progression, you do not have to do step A, step B, step C. There are other avenues to become the kind of architect that you want to be. Those are the kinds of opportunities that you need to jump after. And then Aside from that, we as architects need to stop closing the door behind us and saying, well, this is the avenue I took. I took these exams. There should be no other way. I have this degree. This is the rules. We have a little bit of a close the door behind me mentality, and the more we can move away from that as a profession, especially now with the interest of diversity and inclusion, we need to start opening up other avenues and other ways to get into this profession, because right now it's very much a one line. I am so lucky to have been the recipient of so much mentorship, formal mentorship through organizations like AIA Austin's Leadership Collective, which I did their first class in 2018. That was a really pivotal moment for me as a professional. I hope and encourage that people continue to have access to programs like that. It was through Leadership Collective and Women in Architecture and all of these sort of strong, powerful females that I met over the years that I really started to understand that we as women don't need more training. We are overtrained, overqualified, and under-supported, under-sponsored, right? And so we're sitting here, we're ready, we dive at volunteer opportunities, we dive at extracurricular opportunities, we build ourselves into these fully whole, wonderful humans in our profession. And what we lack is the stepping stones, the opportunities from people above us or parallel to us to reach their hand out and say, like, it's time. It's time for you to take that next step forward. It's time to have a light shined on you. It's time for you to be promoted and illuminated. Women are overtrained and under-sponsored, right? Find yourself someone who really will look out for you and not just mentor you, but show you the way to move forward.